Hey everyone, welcome back. And this is my review of Gundam Build Fighters Try Episode 9. You know, I've said it before and I'll say it again, this series is way too overdramatic for what it's going for, but it just works. And this has to be the most over-the-top Gundam Build Fighters episode I've seen yet. That's counting everything in the first season from what I remember and everything so far in this season. Definitely everything so far in this season. At least a majority of what's in the first season, but it could be everything in the first season too, okay? Seriously, that's how fucking over the top that fight actually is in this episode, especially at the end of the fight. Dear fucking God. It is so over the top. But that's why it's awesome. Seriously. First off, standard stuff, I have to compliment once again, voice acting, art, animation, fucking incredible during the fights. Music is amazing, and the fucking fights in general. Really, there was just one fight in this episode, but still, the fight was amazing. Seriously, best fight in the series so far. I don't know, even though it was more over the top than probably everything in the first season, I don't know if I'd say it's better than every fight in the first season, because I don't remember every individual fight in the first season. But it was still definitely the best fight in at least this season so far. And it ranks up there with some of the fights in the first season. The fight in this episode was amazing. So intense, so over the top, and it was just outstanding. Seriously. Oh my God. And one thing I want to talk about here first, though, is actually the head of the team they were fighting against. Don't remember the name of the team. I don't remember the name of this guy either. But this guy's actually a really respectable character, because the girl that's on that team, I don't remember her name either, but she's a real bitch. Like, she's apparently in love with this guy, right? But she's a real bitch, because as soon as they won, she constantly looked down on the fucking girls' team. I don't remember the name of their team either, but she constantly looked down on them because they lost. Such a fucking bitch. And he actually stood up to her and slapped her and basically, like, verbally, like, berated her for looking down on an opponent who fought their hardest to win. Like, that makes him a really respectable character in my eyes. Alright, because I feel the same way. Like, just, no. Just, goddamn. And that obviously took her for a loop too, because she was obviously infatuated with this guy. That's obvious. I mean, if she wasn't, I highly doubt that she would have, like, basically shoved their other teammate to the side to have him be in the team. You know what I mean? I highly doubt that she would have agreed to do that if she wasn't obviously in love with this guy. So obviously took her for a loop, and she did apologize later on, although whether she actually meant the apology or not, who knows. But either way, though, so I did want to talk about that character real quick. And one thing that kind of threw me for a loop right before the fight, though, is that other teammate that they apparently kicked out. Like, I'd understand if he wanted to come to watch the fight, or to watch the battle and cheer them on, but he was actually standing down there chatting with them. And at first I thought they kind of just forgot about him, so I was really kind of confused when he was just standing down there chatting with them before the fight. I thought this was going to be like a four-way battle or something, considering that he was down there with them, and it wasn't, and I kind of still figured there wouldn't be. And there were, like, granted, there were, like, if it did for some reason all of a sudden turn into a four-way battle, there were two people who would definitely be willing to be on Team Tri-Fighter's team with them. That one guy who they beat a few episodes ago, the leader of the team, I don't remember what his name is. He was in this episode, though, by the slides and whatnot. As well as Gyanko definitely would be willing to. So either of those two, definitely. You know, because Gyanko would definitely wanted some revenge. Okay. And one scene that really stuck out to me, too, that I thought was kind of heartwarming but kind of funny at the same time, was a scene with both Gyanko and Hoshino together, where Hoshino went and tried to cheer up Gyanko by first telling her that, you know, I'm sorry I'm not Sekai. I wanted to get him to come, but he wouldn't. Saying that she should try to cheer herself up or something like that. I don't remember exactly what he said, but at first she looked really depressed, and she probably is. But immediately, right after Hoshino says that, Gyanko lifts up her head and she has like this really cheery face on. And she stands up right away and says she's going to build another better Gundam so she can get revenge and so she can beat Hoshino and she can beat Sekai. And Hoshino does look really happy about that. So that was one of the scenes in this episode that stood out to me the most. Because Gyanko's another one of those characters that's not really who's not really going to get down because she was beaten so over dramatically. And so over the top. And I definitely respect characters like that, okay? I don't care how much they're overused. I respect characters like that, and I really like characters like that, okay? Whew. Let's see here, what else? Well, I don't really think there's a whole lot else to talk about in this episode. The fight. Did I mention the fight enough? And at first I thought I was going to be disappointed with the fight. I guess I should mention this. Alright, at first I thought I was going to be disappointed with the fight because not too long into it, it looked like it was going to end, alright? Because Hoshino suicide bomb one of the team members. Okay. Or it looked like she did. And then it looked like Yuma suicide bombed the other one. And so at that point it looked like it was just going to be Sekai versus the leader, the team leader. And it looked like that Sekai was going to win. I was like, really? You're ending the fight this fucking quickly? No. That would have been really lame, and I'm really glad that it didn't end that quickly. Okay, because apparently not only was the leader still around and tough, but around and really tough, but also the other two team members apparently were still around as well. Okay, and they did end up losing in the end, obviously, because this early on this series, or really at all, you can't really have Team Tri Fighters lose in a series like this. Okay, so I knew that they were going to win in the end. But I'm just really glad they didn't win that quickly, because that would have been really disappointing for me if they actually won that quickly. I'm really glad they didn't. I'm really glad that the fight lasted longer than I originally thought that it was going to. I'm really glad it got as dramatic and over the top as it did, because that's one of the biggest things that I love so much about Gundam Build Fighters in general, is how dramatic and over the top it gets, despite the fact that their lives aren't actually at risk in these battles. They're just using plastic models and this machinery to simulate the actual battle. It's not like an actual Gundam series, of course, where their lives actually are at risk. But again, I think that this is one of the biggest things, possibly the biggest thing that makes Gundam Build Fighters so great, at least for me. Alright, it was true in the first season, it's true in this season. So I guess it's really all I have to say about the battle, and I guess it's really all I have to say about this episode in general. So, overall, I thought this was a fantastic episode once again. Team Tri-Fighters finally won against that team, which was built up for a while. That's another reason why I'm really glad that the team didn't lose so easily, because this battle was built up for so goddamn long. If they lost that easily, considering how much that this battle was built up, that would have been complete fucking horseshit. But thankfully they didn't, because this battle was built up for quite a while. But it really makes me wonder exactly where they're gonna go from here. What their next challenge is gonna be, because obviously it'll have to be someone even tougher than them. I'd imagine that, I forget what his name is, but I imagine that Yuma's childhood friend, that real cocky bastard in the yellow sweater and whatnot, I imagine he's probably going to be in a team sometime in the future and fighting Team Tri-Fighters, or battling Team Tri-Fighters, just simply because he's had so much focus within the last few episodes that I imagine that eventually he is going to be a major enemy of theirs during a battle. Alright. I mean, not necessarily during in an actual team, in the actual competition. I mean, that would be preferable, but not necessarily, though, how it will be. And also, we got to see more of a... Oh, God. I'm gonna shoot myself now. What's his fucking name? God, that Gunpla Club president guy from the previous season. I can't believe I don't remember his fucking name. But yeah, he's in this episode again, so I imagine he's going to be really important later on. And again, that only confirms my theory that we might actually get to see Chio, Sayori, or Reiji, and Sayori once again in this season, which would be fucking amazing. So overall, tell me your thoughts about this episode in the comment section below. I really enjoyed it. If you've yet to see this week's episode of Gundam Build Fighters Try, then I definitely recommend that you do. I cannot wait until next week's episode. This was just a blast to watch. Definitely the best episode in the series so far. And I cannot wait to see where it goes from here and to see exactly what kind of interesting, like, teams that they'll be able to introduce next to actually challenge Team Tri Fighters some more. So anyways, overall, hope you enjoyed this review, guys. See you after, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.